I recently had a difficult appointment with my heart doctor where we're describing the severe leak in my heart, the collapsed vessels in my heart, and looking at the different surgeries, transplants, operations, procedures that are going to be in my future, right, that are coming up. And that kind of conversation, that kind of appointment is very stressful. And I noticed something about myself, a pattern of behavior that always follows that type of appointment. And that is this pattern of behavior where it becomes much more difficult for me to get up and go do my morning run. It's much more difficult for me then to get going to the gym, to do my workout, to not fall behind at work, to show up as a friend, a father, a husband. Anything and everything really becomes much more difficult. And you maybe resonate with what I'm saying. Maybe you have felt similar to how I'm describing here, where there are times where the stresses in our lives, the difficulties, the circumstances, the stuff that we're going through becomes so heavy that it's absolutely crushing down on us, and we're looking up like, I don't know, I'm sorry, I can't, I don't have it in me. I wish I did. I wish I knew how to make this different. I wish I knew how to take a step in literally any direction, but I feel so stuck. I feel so exhausted. I feel so burnt out, right? Burnout is the way we have typically come to understand and describe and talk about this feeling that I'm describing. And that's what this video is going to be about. That feeling of like pure exhaustion and burnout. I'm going to discuss kind of the physiological mechanism of what's going on there. I'm going to discuss why the way I used to handle it and try to deal with it was actually making it much worse and is the wrong way to do it. And then I want to end with this kind of new lens that I'm viewing it through and wrestling with, that I've found to be helpful, that maybe you will as well. Before we do that, I do have a sponsor for this video that I'm very excited, thrilled, honored to be sharing with you. This is Tej Hanley. These are the actual skin products, the real skin products that I've actually been using for my entire life, because I grew up watching a lot of Alpha M when I was in like middle school, trying to learn how to dress well and take care of myself. So I've seen these products, used these products, and loved these products for a while. And what's fantastic is they make such a complicated world of skincare products very uncomplicated. They send you a box with exactly what you need. And what's fantastic is that they're the company making them and putting them all together, so they work in tandem, they layer together. AM and PM scrubs, for example. These types of things layer together, work together to be even more effective. And then you have some of my favorites, like the retinol stick. If you haven't gotten on retinol yet, you got to. And then the super serum. These are my two personal favorite items. But they make it, like I said, so uncomplicated, and they make it so that everything works together to be even more effective. If that sounds interesting to you, if you need skincare products, check the link below. It's going to give you 40% off of your first box, 40% off your first box, and a gift worth over $20. So that link is below. Give it a shot, because I think taking care of your skin is one of the most slept upon ways of self-development. Everyone talks about working out, everyone talks about fashion. Get into the skincare game. It'll make a massive, massive difference. So thank you very much to Tej Hanley for sponsoring this video and for making such great products that have actually helped my skin. All right, guys. So let's get into the physiological aspects of this problem. What we're seeing a lot of the time is with burnout is a freeze response. It's one of the stress responses, right? Fight, flight, or freeze. Our amygdala is this part of the brain that feels stress and then sets off an alarm system. And it siphons resources almost, in a way. I'm sure that's scientifically inaccurate, but this is an analogy. It kind of siphons off resources towards solving this life or death problem to it, right? It doesn't know the difference between a tiger and being late on your taxes. It's just worried about this feeling of not being okay. So how this often is addressed, and how I used to handle it, is being like, dude, why are you so undisciplined? Why are you being so unmotivated? What is wrong with you? Get yourself together, pull yourself up by the bootstraps, stop being a baby, and go do what you need to do. Get it together. And what that does adds more stress, right? That feeds in more to that stress response of saying, okay, something's not right. And when your stress response is that active, your brain gives up on things like discipline, long-term planning, goal orienting, none of that matters. Who cares? It's in survival mode. And a lot of the times, with how many hours people are working, how much stress people are under, with how much debt people have, it is no wonder they are in this burnout survival mode where they feel almost just crushed in by the system and they're frozen. So to tell yourself, oh, be more disciplined, be more motivated, be better, try harder, that's not going to help, all right? That's what I want you to understand first and foremost. What does help is, what they say helps is like building up small wins for yourself and celebrating them hugely, right? I mentioned Tiege Hanley, skincare. When I take care of my skin or I dress well in the day, on days that it's super hard to even get out of bed, I celebrate it. I tell myself I did such a good job. That's so awesome. Look at you looking good, feeling good. You make a big deal out of it. You hype yourself up, and it will feel fake. It will feel forced, yes, because it is. But your brain, again, doesn't know the difference. You're relinquishing some of that stress response. You're telling your brain, okay, no, it's all right. We are good. Everything's good. Chill. And then it loosens you up a bit. This is very not scientific talk, but it loosens you up a bit to go back into feeling like, okay, I can take control of my life again. I can kind of be more disciplined again. I can get back in the swing of things. You have to stack the small wins, and they can be as small as sitting up. If that's how down low you are right now, that you're just laying in bed and can't even sit up, sitting up then is the task. And when you sit up, you throw a party for yourself. You reward yourself. You absolutely hype yourself up. So that's that physiological side of this, and the thing that I used to do that made it worse. Now let's talk about this new way I've been viewing this and the new way that I've been trying to handle this. So for me, one of my favorite quotes of all time is, "He who has a strong why can withstand any how." I think a lot of what helps us move through this world is the stories we tell ourselves, the narratives that we build for ourselves, And when I go through an appointment like that with my heart doctor, the way I visualize this, right back to the metaphor game, is it's like a lot of existential weight pressing down on that narrative. It's a lot of existential weight pushing down on that why. And then it starts to fracture it a bit. There starts to be some cracks in what falls through those cracks. What seeps in then is nihilism. And this idea of everything is just absolutely futile. It doesn't matter. Who cares? I'm just gonna die anyway. I know how this ends. It's pointless. That's what happens for me, is that the existential weight, these questions, the stresses, they cause these little fractures in my story, in my narrative, in my why, and then they make me question everything. I say, what's the point? And I think that question in and of itself is what I'm going to try to focus on, what I've been trying to focus on and work with and work within. It's like the question of what actually is worth it, even though you know it's going to end how it's going to end. What can make it, what is worthwhile, what is worth doing here in your time while you have it, even though you know it can't last? That's the question we have to ask for ourselves and answer for ourselves. I can only answer that for me, and you can only answer it for you. The meaninglessness of life is a question posed to you, right? I get upset thinking about where this is going to end for me, and knowing that I'm going to miss out on so many great things with my kids when I die before I'm ready to die. And that can get overwhelming, and that can get demoralizing for me. But I have to be able to look towards that dark fate, know that it's coming, and ask myself, well, why try here and now while I still have the opportunity? What can drive me to show up with the same amount of optimism and hope and make the differences that I can make while I can make them, knowing the dark fate that lies ahead, knowing that is there? What can still be worth it? And for me, wrestling with that question has really done a lot to free me back up and to get me back in the game, because I know there are things that are worth doing in my time, knowing very well where this is going to end up. There's a reason that I make these videos. There's a reason that I spend the time that I do with my kids and try to foster the relationship I do with my friends and my wife, there is a reason. And for me, it's the impact I can have on others. It's the rippling effect. It's the fact that I know that, people in my life have really done a number that have lasted significantly on me and changed my trajectory. And if I can change any trajectories for any people in a positive way, then it's got to be worth it. Even if it ends how it ends. Even if it won't last as long as I want it to. Even if I have to go away in the end. I want to be able to have spent my time the right way for me. So that's given me the hope and the motivation to push forward, even in the face of a dark fate. And I hope you guys got something out of this video, and if you didn't, you at least got the Tiege Hanley 40% off, baby doll, and a gift worth over $20. So thank you again to Tiege Hanley, and thank you guys for watching. I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.